Rolling camera two.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to yet another episode of Eline Exclusive. I'm super excited today because today's topic is about blurred lines and how does one stay creative in such a saturated industry with social media and everything that comes with it. So we have my boy Chris Montgomery and Jay Anthony here. And for before you get started, I want you guys to introduce yourself. We'll start with Chris.
Greetings. First off, thanks to Elon Media for reaching out. Definitely appreciate the opportunity to come on and have a conversation. My name is Chris Montgomery. I'm originally from Noonan, Georgia. Georgia boy to the bone, to the core. You know, been in Atlanta since '06. Came up here for school. Went to Georgia State University. Um, Worked in information systems, worked in that field for 8.5 years, up until last summer, and transitioned into photography full time. It's just been loving the journey, just taking pictures and doing a little video, just capturing people, just trying to grow, expand at the same time, and just enjoying the ride.
Nice. All right, Jay Anthony.
So I'm Jay Anthony Grigger. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I know my name is long, so you can shorten it by Jag, like the car. I always tell people that, like vroom vroom. I've been here since 2009. I moved here because I didn't have anywhere else to go. Like my mom moved, and I had left my apartment, and my mom was like, "Well, your brother graduated. I'm about to leave. So what the you gonna do?" And I was like, "Well, I might as well go with you." So we came to Atlanta. I was working for the Department of Homeland Security since 2002, and then 2015, I was unable to continue with the government. And in the process of that, I've always been writing. I've been writing since I was 10. So getting back into that after I lost my job, I just pushed myself into a wall and just started allowing my creativity of my writing to just flow out, and that's what I've been doing. I write music. I wrote a book. I write magazine covers. Writing is my power, is my passion. That's what I love to do. So hopefully, I can continue to do that until I'm not here anymore. So.
Got you. So my question is, why did you get started? You could talk about how, but I want to know the why behind that.
Whew. I always wanted to be in entertainment since I was maybe when I was 4. I remember like dancing to Michael Jackson. Beat Street was my favorite movie at the time, so I was doing Beat Street stuff. I always had music in me. I just never knew what to do with it. So wanting to branch out, and my childhood wasn't the best childhood. I was the only child, but it was kind of like a rocky situation, and writing was my escape from everything. So writing just gave me wings to fly without me actually having the actual wings on my back. So that's why writing is my piece. So that's why I write.
What about you with photography? Now, before you answer your question, you went to Georgia State University, and you said you were in information technology.
Yeah, computer information systems.
Okay, so how did that prolong to you being a photographer?
Yeah, I actually coming out of high school when I was looking at majors. Honestly, I just kind of picked what was going to be making allow me to make some good money
Right.
coming out
Right.
of school. Plus, I also had like a natural inclination for technology.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was a type that in college I actually used to fix people's. Whenever the laptop got a virus,
Mm-hmm.
I would be the person they would come to,
Right.
fixing stuff like that. But I mean, I've always at heart, I've always been a creative.
Mm-hmm.
Art was my first passion. I started drawing at the age of 5. Well, I think 6, second grade. And I still remember the moment. I still remember the moment I saw the drawing. It was this cartoon called Mighty Max.
Mm-hmm.
And something in me, I'm watching the cartoon, something just made me get a piece of paper and some crayons
Mm-hmm.
and started drawing. I call it the spark. I don't. It's like the thing that makes you do something. I call it the spark. And yeah, I drew it. I thought it was great. I showed my mom, and she co-signed. She said, "This good, son." To her, it could have looked like chicken scratch, but
Right.
she empowered me, and I think to this day, by her uh, empowering me and letting me know that my work was good, I think that made me. I was drawing like every day. I took art classes, competitions, and stuff like that. So the creative side was always there. Fast forward to college, I was working with a group of friends. We were about to start a web series.
Okay.
It was going to be on YouTube and everything. We were interviewing people. We had scripts and everything, but the project just kind of fell through. One, we didn't have a camera, and then just like people's lack of availability. So, so I decided, hey, I can get a camera. So I sat on it for like 2 days. Went to Best Buy. Got my first camera originally for videography. I never even planned on doing photography. And the guy actually upsold me. I went to get like one particular camera in mind, but I told him what I was using it for. I'm glad he upsold me because it was a better camera. So I said, okay, I don't have any projects to work. I don't have any film projects now to work for this camera. So I said, let me learn how to use it for photography. Because I was in my job at the time, I was in an employee resource group, and we had different events. And I looked at past event photos, and they weren't that great. So I said, hey, I have a DSLR. I think it can take good pictures.
Right.
So,
YouTube,
yeah,
okay.
YouTube University, that was really the first go. Yeah. So just started learning more. Word got out throughout the company that I was like the go-to guy for pictures. And I reached out to a couple of friends who were entrepreneurs. Say, hey, I got a new camera. You mind if I come out and take some pictures, do some video, just pro bono at first, just to kind of see how good I could be. And I helped them out. And then one girl, she was even like, how can I pay you for these services? And I was like, okay, this might be onto something.
Right.
And then I started posting to Instagram. That really took it to another level as well. That kind of, I guess, put people on notice that, hey, okay, he's doing photography.
Right.
So that was really, the transition. It just kind of happened. It's crazy. I'm still amazed by it.
Right. And if you guys like, his work is phenomenal. I was just telling him before we started this filming that you could tell that he really captures the essence of the person that he's photographing or taking a photo of. And it's so clean and precise. So I love the work that you do.
Appreciate that.
No problem.
That's all I can expect.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So you mentioned how writing is an escape. And a lot of the times when like going to school and figuring out what we're going to do, being a creative, looking at like with my parents, it was like that's not going to pay your bills, Nat, right?
Right.
So my thing is now we see that being a little bit different. You mentioned how your friends were entrepreneurs, and like with us millennials, that's how a lot of businesses came about. We found a niche, we found a path, and we made our way to, do essentially what we like to do and get paid for what we like to do. But within this industry, this is a creative industry, we see a lot of repetitiveness, right? That's the word? Okay, I'm gonna say that. And my question to you guys is what's the hardest part about being a creative in this saturated industry? Like what's one thing that you find that makes you stand out from other photographers? What's something that you find that makes you stand out from other writers that we're not seeing the same stuff over and over and over again?
Would you like to go first?
I don't mind. You said, well, can you repeat the question?
So what is something that makes your stuff more unique than another photographer?
I think the sole element is just being you.
Absolutely.
I was reading a pamphlet by your CEO. She had a quote. Saying how in today's world you have to bring your full self to the table. Your personality, your heart. That's the difference. I tell people, it's a lot of people doing a lot of things. Everybody's doing. You go down the cereal aisle, look at how many boxes of cereal you have from different companies.
Right.
That don't stop them from selling cereal.
Absolutely.
So I think focus on you and make that shine. And that's going to be, I think that's your competitive advantage.
Yourself.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
fully you. Because can nobody, you know, yeah.
For me, let's see. I would say being authentic, as you said, being yourself, and realizing that the world is a part of you as you are much as a part of the world. Like understanding that I'm just a small speck of what's going on and tapping into every single thing that I can tap into makes my writing for me different because I can talk about stuff that happened to somebody and they may think it happened to me, or I could talk about something that happened 20 years ago because my mental capacity has so many stories in it that I could write from anywhere, any place, from any genre. I even write in different languages because of Google and YouTube.
Okay.
To just branch out in that. What makes me different is that I put my soul in every single inch of my pen. And that's what makes me different is that I speak from my heart, my soul, my feet, my hands, my brain, and all of the things that happened to me in my life, good and bad, friends and everybody else.
Absolutely. And with writing, it's so versatile. Like you could speak about one subject and continue with that, and then it, merges with people that thought about whatever, topic it is that you were speaking about. But we're going to be right back after these messages. Don't go anywhere. Okay, so writing in first tab. So, guys, very good. hmm For what? Okay.
This is so decent.
What happened?
This is so decent to me.
It's so what?
It's so decent. Like I love this. I love being a creative.
It really is something. And had I known that from back in the day, I probably would have been a different person. Because it's a lot of like, you're afraid to do this because you never know what the outcome might be. And then you go on social media and see that that person is doing what,
Facts.
what
You
you
were
said
like,
you're going to do.
it was true. Right.
Right. So,
And everybody got their lane. You just have to be
right,
able to drive
right.
in your lane. So.
And that was another thing, like with media, we only see one aspect of like black people,
Right.
Or women, and things like that. So you're just like, oh no, let me not go off track. Let me just keep in line with what everybody else is doing.
Nah.
And that's not how it is.
You gotta shake the boat.
Right.
You gotta shake the boat.
You do screenwriting too?
I write everything.
Nice.
If I could rewrite the Bible, I'd rewrite the Bible. Everything.
What's your favorite genre to write?
Anything lyrical. Anything.
I know
lyrical.
You do poems.
Yeah,
poems,
but anything lyrical, it does not matter. Like I even write some of my magazine articles in a lyrical sense. Like I think that's another thing that keeps me different is I don't write like a typical editorial. I write like a rapper because that's where I came from. I came from battle rapping, so I just took my battle rapping and used it into my magazine writing.
Okay, battle rap.
Oh yeah, I was at the lunch table. Damn, bro. Put a beat on.
From Philly, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You familiar with Reed Dollars?
Mm-hmm.
What happened to him?
I just don't think. Usually they don't have no right backing. Like the reason why Meek got where he at, he got the right backing. The reason why Beanie Siegel got where he was at because he got the right backing.
Conversation I want to hear.
Oh, most definitely.
I used to watch like a lot of battle raps on YouTube. Reed used to be going in.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them dudes that's nice. But I've been watching female rappers now. Like that's my thing right now. Like female rappers are what's in. Like, and I ain't talking about Cardi. I'm talking about
like real MC. Yeah.
Tierra Whack.
You familiar with 3D19? This girl named 3D19.
But I will be now.
She's the best not even a female rapper, but I think she's one of the. I mean,
Lyricist.
she's out of Louisiana. Yeah,
Her name is, what is it?
3D Nathalie.
I'm gonna have to get that.
Real slept on, but her music.
All right, camera team is ready. Quiet on set. Roll camera one.
Rolling camera 2.
And three, two, one.
Hey guys, and welcome back to yet another episode of Eline Exclusive. Before we continue, Chris wanted to add to the last question.
Yeah, when you spoke about what makes us like unique or stand out, I think one thing that's helped me, especially over the last year, is following intuition. That's a great power that I've really been tapping into more as of late. Because it's with photography, it's so many ways that I can move with it. Especially, I mean, you watch social media, you see, sometimes people have influence. Like you might want to, maybe I need to do that. Maybe I need to do this.
Right.
But now you got to just get quiet and see what your spirit is telling you.
Mm-hmm.
That'll let you know how you need to move. So I think tuning into that as well can, because it's many ways up the mountain, right? But I think following your intuition is like the best path for each individual.
Mm-hmm.
So
Energy is key.
That's
That's like, I don't think people realize how much energy we are as a being. And when you tap into that, whether it be writing, whether it be photography, whether it be videography, once you get into that realm of like alchemy, it's a different type of feeling. So I'm with all the energy. I like my chakras and my rocks.
Right. It's important.
It is.
It is very important, and not just for yourself, but for like your entire being, your environment, everything. And I'm very big on that as well. So we were talking a little bit while the cameras were off about shaking the boat and the idea in where back in the day being a creative wasn't as popular as it is now, and we now you see more of what's quote unquote acceptable, and how with our parents it was like you being a creative is not going to make you money. So my question to you is, looking in the bigger scope of Hollywood, we see a lot of like repetitive things going on. Everybody's doing the same movie, the same scripts, and all that stuff. So why do you guys think it's afraid? I mean, why do you guys think creatives, not creatives, but maybe like directors or writers, are afraid to step out that box? Because honestly, I'm tired of seeing slave movies. I'm tired of seeing
I'm so
Martin.
glad you
Like,
said that.
I don't mind them,
So glad you said
but
that.
there's so much more.
So much more. I believe that America is not ready for people to completely shake the stigma that comes with a lot of creatives,
Mhm.
whether it be black creatives, whether it be white creatives, whether it be gay creatives. People sometimes are afraid to be who they are in this society, in this world. And sometimes following after other people will get you a little bit of notoriety, but it doesn't last. I think what people need to do is just be who you are. God made you who you are. Your creator, whatever you speak to, made you to be unique. Once you find your uniqueness, you ride with that. And that's the issue, is that people are afraid of being unique because of stones and things that being thrown at you. But you take those stones that were thrown at you and you just build a kingdom on top of it. So that's how I think. And to touch on uh, the slave thing, there's so many positive things about black people. We were kings, we were queens,
Right.
we had empires. We weren't just slaves. And I am tired of seeing every other movie about a slave. Like, I don't want to see that. I want to see why Harriet Tubman ain't on the $20 bill, or why we ain't really had a black president, not a brown president, black.
Okay.
I think also why we see a lot of repetitiveness is I think people are just doing what works. It's like a formula. It's cookie cutter. It's copy paste.
Right.
You see it in music. You listen to the radio. I rarely listen to the radio, but it's like I can't tell one person from the next. I'm like, they sound
All the same.
Facts. That is
All the
facts.
same.
It's
I think it's quick money. It's a quick flip.
Mm.
You get in, make a quick meal. I think it's just easy to do that. I mean, I can go. I don't have any music background, but I feel like I can make a radio hit if I put my mind
Absolutely.
to it.
Facts. That's facts.
So I think so. A lot of times in the community, what I've seen is, it's about what's being highlighted in mainstream. We kind of that's kind of the standard mainstream, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is doesn't really showcase much quality. The quantity is there, but it's not much quality. But I would argue also that whatever we think is lacking, that work is happening. I've seen it. It may not be a spotlight on it. So I think that's what kind of got to be like a grassroots level to a grassroots effort to spread that spotlight around so many
Mm-hmm.
people can kind of catch on to it. But it's some great music out there at the same time. It's underground. It's some great productions that's happening. It's just getting that. I think it's just going to be like a person to person type of thing
Mm-hmm.
to kind of make it spread. But yeah.
Do you think that, like, especially when it comes to music or just something new, that the like black community is a little bit hard on like certain things? So every couple of years there's like somebody new that comes out, and then we leech onto them like, oh, they're cool, whatever. Like, who's an example? Khalid,
Mm-hmm.
right? Everybody's like, oh, now everybody wants to go to a Khalid concert or Khaled. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but do you think like there's that always not like a gatekeeper
Mm-hmm.
per se?
Mm-hmm.
And
I think the gatekeepers are in every part of creativity,
mm,
whether it be music, directing, and I say this: the reason why there are gatekeepers because we don't have people as much like Sojourner Truth. We don't have people that's like Harriet Tubman. We don't
mhm,
have people that's like Malcolm X. To break away from the gatekeepers, because there are a lot of talented and gifted individuals in the world,
mhm,
and they're not being showcased because, for one, money, where they live at, and it is a very thing is about popularity.
yeah,
It's about the quantity over the quality, and it's about the quality. No one wants to eat off of bad china. I don't want to eat off of bad china. I want to eat off the good china, but I also understand that the bad china is not necessarily bad. It may be undervalued,
mm,
but you still have to find ways to utilize and break out of the gatekeepers, and we can do that. There are more creative than there are gatekeepers. We just have to
right,
push the creative to realize that we have the power to move the gatekeepers out of the way.
absolutely. One question that I did have is, you mentioned quality over quantity. What, quality over quantity? Correct. Yes. Um, and there's also this thing that a lot of creatives do: collaboration over competition. But have you guys ever looked at the competition and was like you mentioned, oh, maybe I should input that into my next, photography
Mm.
session, or maybe I should put that into my next screenplay, you know? So,
I My competition is the person that I see every morning. I don't
Mm.
compete with another man or another woman because
mhm,
what's for you won't pass you.
that's right.
What steps that's for you, you're gonna keep stepping.
Hmm.
So I don't have no competition. My competition is myself and the creator who created me, and I ain't met that person yet.
That's it.
I feel that. For me, I wouldn't say probably. I don't think I would label it as competition as well. Um, but I would say that you can learn. You can definitely take learning opportunities from people who are doing
Mm,
similar things as you. You can learn from what they succeed in and also what they fail in. I've had so many instances where people people reached out to me
mhm,
for a photo shoot. It might have been like a last minute thing because their photographer either backed out or was unresponsive, just not communicating. So I see that as a lesson to okay, communication is definitely key. Um, yeah, so I've gained, I've benefited from situations where I learned from somebody else's mistake.
mhm. Okay.
And I will quote Jay-Z said this: "What you eat don't make me shit." So there ain't no competition with another person because what you do is really not gonna affect
Affect
me.
me.
What you
Absolutely.
do is gonna affect you. What I'm gonna do is gonna affect me. And we don't have to always be bickering and trying to be I'm better than you. Cause at the end of the day, ain't nobody better than nobody. Ain't nobody beat death yet.
Mhm.
I ain't seen nobody beat death. You might say they came back to beat it. Ain't nobody better than me. So The only competition is yourself. And when you meet people who are other creatives, like he said, take something from them.
Right.
Because
Learn.
you might learn something different, or you might teach me something different.
Mhm.
I'm not in no competition with you. I want to learn.
Mhm.
Learning is growth. So if you want to grow, you pick from the trees, and that's what you eat from.
That's it. Now, if you guys were to collaborate with somebody, who would it be and why?
Good question. Wow.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be in the lane of photography or writing, just like in a creative sector.
That's
Oh,
on.
that's hard.
Yeah, that is hard.
Oh, that's hard.
Um,
I don't know. I would say my first choice in my head, my first person was Jay-Z. That's the Sean Carter is probably the first person I want to work with before anybody. I just think his mindset of a businessman is ridiculous because he has a mindset of a street hustler. So it's like I'm not from the street, so I would love to learn that from somebody to mask as much as he has amassed in his lifetime. Like Jay-Z, most definitely Jay.
Okay.
Most definitely.
He's a whole philanthropist.
Oh man, you
He
don't
has
understand
so many
so much stuff.
accolades, and the fact that he's so quiet about his moves, and you don't hear him until it like makes the paper or blows it up on social media.
Yes,
That's what I like about him.
I would definitely like. Yeah, that's it. He's like, I would say I don't idolize anybody because thou shalt not idolize false idols.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like a big brother to me that I've never met. So I would definitely want to when anything Rock Nation, I'm for it.
Never met yet.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there we go. Yes.
yeah, I'm stumped on a name.
Mm-hmm.
I have to think on that. But I think for me, if I could just be a fly on the wall on like a production set
Mm-hmm.
and just learn and watch and take notes and just help out, yeah, that'd be a good collaboration for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
What type of film?
Yeah, film.
Film.
Yeah, that's like the long term.
Mm-hmm.
That was always a long term goal. But yeah,
Nice.
I just think you can do so much with film. You can do because I think it's a responsibility when you're able to either be on a microphone or create like visuals because that's how it taps into the subconscious mind and that's how people learn. So when you can have some good imagery out there,
Mm-hmm.
oh man, you can really change the world or just change your community.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's the changing of the world that got me.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, what you went up to just trying to change the world.
That's it. One day at a time. All right, guys, we'll be right back after these messages. All right.
That was really good.
Change the world, man.
That was it. That's what I want to do, change the world.
Got to. I think
And I
if we
feel-
get enough people, we can.
Right. And I think that's the issue. It's just the matter of like building up and finding,
The
good
people.
hearted
It's the
people.
That's what it is. It's finding the people who have similar mindsets,
Mhm.
and that's not. Then they realize that you're not a threat. I'm not a threat to you. The
Right.
person that doesn't like you is a threat to you. I love you. I love
Mhm.
everybody.
Mhm.
So I don't have no animosity, no
Mhm.
hate towards anybody because that's not what's in my spirit and in my heart.
Right.
But if we can grow as a unit, we can be we are powerful people.
Oh yeah.
Powerful people.
Right.
I don't think people understand we are that powerful. We are the only color that can stand in the sun for as long as we possibly can.
Right.
Yeah.
And
True.
and look good after we come from out the sun.
Right.
We
Right.
ain't burnt. And
Right.
then, oh, you look good black. I know.
I know. You know what I've learned? I think when you really want to move the needle, you just got to get with the doers.
Mhm.
That's the difference. It's people that might talk and say stuff, but
You gotta put in the work.
you find some doers. You can make
Mhm.
something happen.
Right.
You're like, oh, this person is a doer. Let's work.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And you know what? If you do it, doers always connect.
Yeah.
Because when you actually rolling it out, that person that's on the move,
Mhm.
they can tell. You can come into atmosphere and know a talker. And
Yeah.
do it.
Exactly.
You can see that person making those moves.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I sit around and I talk. And I sit around talking. I be like, you ain't nothing but a damn talk. You ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing out here.
Absolutely.
You can definitely tell.
And like you said, I think energy is a big part of
Oh,
that too.
energy.
Like you said, they don't even have to. They could talk, but what you listening to them, like, all right, yeah,
Yeah,
all right.
Mhm.
I mean, and we made it energy.
Right.
I mean, that's what the same thing that we breathe is what we are. That's what it is.
That prana.
I don't like being down. I like being up. So as long as the vibes up, I'm good.
That's it. Chris, I wanted to speak to you. I'm trying to figure out. You said being a creative is very powerful because we have the ability to be in the subconscious of other people, especially when it comes to film and music and all that stuff. So I'm just going to feed off of that
You
question.
definitely have to tap into it because that's what's gonna make people love you is when you tap into places
Right.
that's not in the front.
Right.
Everybody pays attention to the top of the iceberg. They don't never pay attention to the bottom.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, it's so like we are very powerful people, and I would like to see us grow to infinity.
And beyond.
Right.
I'm definitely with the Toy Story.
Yeah, slowly but surely it is. It is.
If we could get the gatekeepers out of the way, we'll be
Right.
fine.
Sometimes we are the gatekeepers.
Yeah, you're right. Sometimes we are the gatekeepers.
Sometimes you might be like, hey, let's go make our own game.
Gate. No, that's real. No, that's facts. That's facts.
That's why I see when man, at the Oscars, people complain about. I mean, why do we just need to be included in these things?
No, I can only make my own.
We do, you know. Let's start our own. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I tell people that all the time. They be like, "Why?" I was watching a news thing and they were talking about transgender people,
Mm-hmm.
transgender men. Was it transgender females wanting to play sports
Yes.
with females,
Right.
with biological females?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of crying, and complaining that these people don't want you to be a part of it, go make your own league. I don't understand what the problem is. Go make your own league. Then they're gonna come looking at you mad because you done made your own league. No. Just don't. You don't have to like. People don't. We limit ourselves believing other people when we have the power to do anything. I mean, that's really what it is. The Creator gave you the power to do. We are the smartest
You're
beings
right.
here.
We do limit ourselves.
We
when
limit
believe.
ourselves.
What you say when we believe in other people?
Oh, I never forgot. Hold on.
But something on those lines,
Yeah.
and I see it because even like growing up in my parents, they're strict Caribbean Haitian folks, and they're just like, you got to do this, you got to do that. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, I got to do this, I got to do that. Not realizing my full potential, but now that where they see the world is going and how everything is changing, they get it now. And so I'm just like, if I had that, ideology back in the day, then maybe just maybe,
I say this is because I've been in this position. Like I get it, but the first thing that was a creator of the world was a creator of the world. I mean, the creator of the world. That's what it says. Created the world. So of course, when people break down that you are a part of a creator, if you are made in the image of your creator, then you are a creator. That's a power that you have. And once we tap into that,
So he's on B, right?
we good. I mean, everybody creates. People create cars, they create homes. I mean, it's just some people don't want us to be creative in the entertainment field. Like that's where they think that there's no money at. But no, it's a lot of money in entertainment.
Yeah,
It's a lot of money in entertainment.
it is.
It's more money in TV than it is in music. Like,
Okay.
that is true. Because you hear like when people get, I think it was Shonda Rhimes. She just penned a deal with, I don't know if it was Netflix. And those zeros after that, I was
and
like,
they
wait.
dogged her. ABC, was it ABC?
Yeah.
How you dog a woman who helped your network get to where it's at?
Right.
If y'all had no Shonda Rhimes, y'all wouldn't be where y'all at.
Right.
Y'all gonna dog her. She said, okay, don't worry about it. Netflix
Literally,
called
don't worry about it.
And tripled what ABC tried to offer her. You're not gonna belittle me after I didn't give you all these years of this television. Get
Right.
the hell out of here.
It makes me wonder. What's your favorite thing to photograph?
Events.
Events?
Oh.
I really like events.
Really?
Yeah, it's free. It's like
You know.
well, not like literally free, but it's like it's not really contrived. It's just candid in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Capturing the people and their essence.
yeah, I really love events. Second, just portraits.
Mm-hmm.
No specific type of portraits, but yeah.
What type of events?
Like any type. I mean, it could be like a wedding reception. It could be a birthday event.
Mm-hmm.
Networking events are cool to shoot. Like corporate events are fun. Yeah,
That's
that's
cool.
a range.
I could see events being a thing. Like,
Yeah.
they have so many multiple pictures to take from so many different people.
Oh yeah, and then it's, you just meet. You can meet so many people.
I'm gonna do another audio test real quick. So, Chris, if you can, we'll do you first. Where are you from?
Noonan,
What high school you go to?
Noonan High School,
Where'd you go to college?
Georgia State.
Were you in any clubs while you were there?
Yes, a couple.
Oh, could you name them for me?
NSCS was the National Society for Collegiate Scholars.
Okay.
Did a business frat, Delta Sigma Pi.
Okay.
That was about it, I think. It was a one. It was the one more, but I forgot the name of it.
All right.
That wasn't really active. We fed the homeless one time, but then that was it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's always a good thing.
Yeah, it just never really kept it active. But I
All right,
didn't.
that's good. All right, do you, Jack? Who are your favorite artists?
Jay-Z, Nicki Minaj. Oh, Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Classic.
Like
Oh,
And-
can I say Prince? Prince. I have it. I can't name. I got it. But yeah, Prince is up there.
Did you hear the new Nicki and
He's on
Jay?
E3, right? Yeah.
What do you think?
I
I think they always come
hard.
correct.
What genres of music do you listen to the most?
I listen to every genre besides heavy metal. I cannot deal with that.
And real quick, if you can,
Yeah, heavy metal's wild.
it is.
I just don't get
count
it.
to 10 for me.
Sound like
Count to 10 from 1,
Somebody's in
Yes.
pain.
1,
Somebody's going
2,
through it.
3, 4,
it is weird.
5,
Yeah.
6,
I tried.
7,
but it's not.
8,
People
9,
screaming.
10.
I think you got to be on some type of substance to really
You
take
have
it
to.
in.
Absolutely. That and liquor combined. Because I don't get it. I honestly don't get it.
Yeah, not for the sober mind, I don't think.
Not at all.
Jack, can you count down?
Yep.
Count from
10,
10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Thank you.
9,
Thank
10.
you. Thank you.
Chris, thank you. Can you count down for 15?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Oh, matter of fact,
2,
let me
1.
get it for you. Thanks. Be right back. Get him
Are
some
you
water.
guys ready?
I'm gonna get him some water.
Okay.
So what do you currently take pictures of? You said, and this would be the ideal to just.
Yeah, mainly it's events and events, portraits like graduations or engagement shoots, and branding shoots. Those are the top. Yeah, my top 3. Yeah.
Have you shot for any publications?
I have a magazine, like what's the name of it? In the City magazine. It's like for models. I think that's the only one so far. Yeah.
I'm looking for a photographer.
Okay. I'll be glad to help.
Nathalie, you ready?
Yep.
Rolling camera 1.
Rolling camera 2.
And 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, and welcome back. So, yes, we're having a very in depth conversation about being a creative in such a saturated industry. So, my question is, what do you guys, or what advice would you give to upcoming creatives?
Oh, don't listen to anybody. Listen to yourself more. Love yourself before you love anybody else.
Hmm.
And your creation matters just like anybody else's creation. And don't give up. Don't give up.
I would say find something that you can latch on to. Find something that I mean, even because a lot of people, say, "Hey, I don't have a passion. Or I don't have that thing."
Hmm.
You just gotta kind of find something that you're really interested in. And I would say to kind of help you with that, find something that you would want to learn a lot about.
Hmm.
'Cause that's gonna kind of keep your heart in it versus just getting into it for money.
Hmm.
And take it serious. At some
Yes.
points, you got to take it serious. If you just half do it, you're gonna get half the results. So yeah, just take it serious and just be you throughout the process.
Hmm. Do the work, take it serious, and also be consistent. And I know sometimes, especially as creatives, we like get frustrated at times, and that's just the way of life, right? So with consistency brings about change. That to me, that's what happens. So what would you guys say about just doing the work and being present and always putting your best foot forward, essentially?
Always be respectful uh, of people and people's times.
Mm.
Always be polite to people. Um, when you put in the work will show. If you put
Yeah.
in trash work, it will show up as trash work.
Hmm.
Don't put out trash work. If you want to make it and you want to be creative, make sure your work speaks for you, but it can touch people and people can listen to it and understand why you want to be a creative. And just don't give up. Just always remember it didn't happen overnight. It wasn't. It The world was not created in a day. Uh, Babies aren't created in a day. Well, that part started it, but it takes 9 months for the baby to come out. So just remember that building blocks to a kingdom take time to get there. Don't
Hmm.
stop. Don't stop.
Right.
Yeah, consistency is key. Yeah, I mean, it's a challenge because there are two major things I see that's stopping kind of people from being consistent. One is we tend to care a lot about what other people think.
Hmm.
I don't know where that came from. I don't know if social media introduced it or just made it just rampant or whatever. And then
Wait,
we
you
so
said social media made it a way where,
well we care about the opinions of others a
right?
lot, and
Okay.
that kind of can stagnate us and prevent us from really sharing our creativity.
Right.
And then the other thing is we're very distracted.
Mm.
It's like the great distraction. We're on our phones. I do like a social experiment. I just like to watch human behavior.
Hmm.
I try not when I'm out. I try not to be on my phone as much, like a
Hmm.
conscious thing. But I just see, hey, people walking across the street. I mean, I'm guilty of it too sometimes.
Hmm.
But it's like we're just so distracted. It's easy to get lost in a scroll.
Mm.
I was at I actually worked this. I worked a seminar a couple years back.
Hmm.
This lady, she was talking about. I forgot what the topic was, but she said that we scroll the length of the average person scrolls the length of the Eiffel Tower every
That's
day.
when you think about that,
And
that's
that's a
kind of
No.
nuts. And I could see that.
Yeah, so it's we have these distractions. We care about what other
Yeah.
people think. So it is a challenge to be consistent. But
Hmm.
I always go back to what really helped me. I met at Georgia State. We had the marketing association put on because I was a business major.
Hmm.
They put on a workshop, and it was hosted by Tommy from Martin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, back when he was still with us. And so after he's finished speaking, we got an opportunity to go up and just ask him a question. I was doing comedy at the time. I did.
Hmm.
Yeah, I worn a few hats.
Yeah.
Comedy.
Yeah, I did stand up for like a year.
I
It was
gotta see
fun.
that, bro. I gotta see
Yeah,
that.
it's like one clip out there. But so I asked him. I was like, what advice would you give to somebody who's just starting out with comedy and really want to grow it? He said, whatever your whatever it is, whatever your creativity is, he said you gotta do it every day. He said you gotta look at it, touch it, smell it, feel it every day, even if it's just an hour. So that's the thing. I tell people, you gotta just do it every day, even if it's just an hour put into it, because I mean, with the law of compound interest, over time, that 1 hour it builds up. But people, it's easy to do, it's easy not to do.
Mm-hmm.
So what helped me out when I was still in corporate doing photography, we really, when you think about a 24-hour day, what eight of it is sleeping, you got 8, 9 of it at work.
Mm-hmm.
So I call it that golden period for me, that space for success is the hour when you get off work and when you go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
If you can maximize that slot right there, because it's on average it's about 4 to 6 hours for most people.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you can just crank in an hour
Mm-hmm.
of that every day, you look up. I mean, it gotta take off.
Right.
You know?
Right. Absolutely.
I write every second. I'm writing in my head now. I'm just not gonna be able to take my phone out, put the bars down. But as you said, like if you take that time, if you could take time to clock in for a job, you could take time to clock in for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And always remember that you are replaceable at a job, but you're not replaceable to yourself. So focus on you. And with the distractions, social media is a gift and a curse. We always been distracted. We always thought about what other people said about us before social media. Social media just made it on a broader scale. And distractions, if you have a distraction, make it a positive distraction. Maybe if you're distracted by if like a photographer, like you're a photographer, maybe you start looking at like something in what you want to do. But your distraction is now your attraction. So now you've utilized what you thought was something bad, and you utilize it to be something good. So now you put that time in, as you said, to build yourself, to get to that point of what you want to do as a creative, whatever you want to do.
Absolutely. You mentioned Martin, and Martin is my favorite show. And the reason why it's such a classic is because it's so relatable until this day. There's some episodes, clearly, when it came out in what, 95, 92, whatever. I didn't understand what was happening because I was a kid. But now when you watch it, it's just like, wow. And I think when it comes to being a creative, those writers understood relatable situations, real life things that happen. And you guys both spoke upon it about being true to yourself, understanding that that's who you look into the mirror every day, you know? So I just wanted to highlight that because I'm such a Martin fan. So career wise, right? Where do you guys see yourselves in like the next 3 years? Or what would you like to see yourself in like the next 3 years?
Oh, the next 3 years, I would like to be in Rock Nation.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to be more well known as a writer. I
Mm-hmm.
want to write some more books. I want to become more of a entertainment personality. Next 3 years, I want to be out of Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm not going to say where because I don't want nobody to know. In a situation where I'm just happy, more happy than I was 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just want to be a creator. That's all I want to do. I don't want to really and fall in love and be wealthy, and that's all I want to do.
That's it.
3 years. Career wise, definitely would want to have my own studio by then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely have a studio space. Have a few people on the team, other photographers that I'm helping build up and helping me out as well. I would want to have my hands more into the film side
Mm-hmm.
because I have some ideas about some documentaries, like social documentaries that I think would be great for the community.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just using it as a vehicle to get out positive imagery just for the people. Because we spoke about earlier with the subconscious,
Right.
images are so powerful because it's really how we remember things. Think about somebody say, okay, how was second grade or how was your childhood?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna think images are gonna pop in your mind. So when you have, let's say, mainstream, they're able to really, they call it television programming. They can really program the
For a
minds
reason. Right.
of the people, even through music. Think
Mhm.
about what I listen to music now. It's like I mean, the babies are hearing this.
And they're singing it.
It's trash.
They're singing it too.
So I mean, that can be very powerful if you're not fortified enough to, kind of move past that. So yeah, just studio, getting some positive images out there, whether it be pictures or film, and yeah, just being open to what comes. I learned about life is we do our side, but then we gotta let go, and God gonna do what God does. So we can do what we do and just see what else come on the other side.
That's it.
I got the plug. If whenever you're ready to write them scripts, bro, holler at me.
That's it.
Okay.
It's all about collaboration
Absolutely.
over competition.
I'm open 24/7, 365, 366 on the leap year. I'm just saying.
It does. It does. Going back to what you were saying about how it's called TV programming and programming for a reason, and how things are in our subconscious. We spoke about how we're tired of seeing the same movies over and over again, and that's how come I think when Black Panther came out was such a good film because there was so many dynamics to that one feature.
Facts.
You had superheroes, you
Facts.
had talking
Black
about
power.
colonialism and things like that. And one thing why I feel like that movie was so big is because it just rooted something so different. And I'm not gonna lie, it had the backing behind Disney and Marvel and whatnot. But the fact that it just changed the game and the narrative and showed us that there were people like myself who are geeks into like what is it called? Afrofuturism. Right. And we're just not one type of being. There's so much more that we enjoy, so much more that we like, and so much more that we like to see. So with that, what is something that you guys would like to see that mainstream media is doing? I mean, it's not doing enough of.
I definitely want to see more positive Black imagery. I think the media has a way of saying, prime example with the George Floyd case. They said that he had superhuman strength. There's nobody in this world that has superhuman strength. That's not true. You have to stop utilizing those type of words like superhuman or he was on drugs or he's bigger than us or this and or this and that to downgrade the word Black. The word Black is a very downgraded word and it shouldn't be downgraded. I want them to start to use more of the imagery of the people in a positive way. I don't want to keep seeing us getting shot. I don't want to keep seeing us being slaves. I don't want to keep hearing the mainstream music about drugs, sex. I don't want to hear none of that. It's so many other positive things to talk about. More positivity will heal the world. The world is crying for help, and we have to help it. We have to help the people and believing in your people and pushing for better in front of us will be okay. Just like I said, if you put the $20 if you put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill, Black people can look at it and be like, oh, now I look like money, and stop seeing George and Franklin and the rest of them people. Just push the people who are actually here, the people, and push them in a positive light. No more slaves. Let's do some kings. Let's do some queens. Let's do some comics. Let's do some things like that and empower the people that are coming up under us. Because if we don't empower them, it ain't gonna happen. And I got a child. She's 10, and she needs empowerment.
Absolutely.
Even though she got it from me, but still, she needs more.
Absolutely.
What I would like to see mainstream media do more of, I would say, kind of get out of the mindset of profits over everything. Really do things in the interest of the people, like promote health and wellness for one. Throughout this whole pandemic, all I've seen on mainstream is wearing masks, social distance. I mean, that's good. We should do those things. But also, I mean, what about having some specials to tell people about their immune system and how, I mean, we have these amazing bodies, divine bodies, but we gotta have to help the body out too. So having specials about, teaching people about what they should eat or exercising or getting sunlight, vitamins, minerals. I mean, I haven't seen any of those. I think that should be highlighted as much as the other medical guidelines as well. So I think more of that would be if people just start eating, let's say, drinking a smoothie a day or eat some. How much water do you drink? Have specials on that.
So to piggyback on you, if you eat your blood type, you should be fine. Because there's certain things that we're not supposed to eat. Like if you're O positive, whatever the number, I don't know what none of that stuff is. But whatever you are, if you're not supposed to eat beef, they give you a substitute to eat chicken. If you're not supposed to eat an apple, they give you a substitute to eat a pear. If you know what your body type, what's in your body, because the reason why we have all of these ailments and all of these deaths and all of this, because we've been eating food that we ain't supposed to be eating. They've been giving us this stuff for years. And when you realize that you are your key to your paradise. So if you take the time and feed your body correctly, feed your blood is what keeps going. So if you feed your blood what your blood is supposed to eat, I think a lot of things would pertaining to disease and stuff would fall to the wayside. Because now you're eating what is intended for you to eat. So I say find out what your blood type is, find out what you're supposed to eat, and pray.
That's it. All right, guys. Well, I had a couple of things, another thing I want to talk about, but we're running out of time. But we could continue this on the podcast. But guys, thank you so much for this conversation. We needed it. Hmm? It's not? One more segment? Oh, I thought it was three. All right, so we will be right back after these messages. I thought you said three. Hold on. 10 break, 10 break, and then the last one. Oh, 10 break, 10. Okay, the 20 was okay. Good.
I got a question for you. I want to do a call in. I'm about to call in.
Come on, Colin.
No, I hear a lot of people talk about they tired of slaves, they tired. But it's so many people under you. So how do you educate your children about where they're from? And is slavery really negative, or is that what America wants us to think? Because I don't view slavery. Anytime I see somebody in chains and I own a company now, I get really excited about that because my ancestors come from nothing. It pushes people every day to be better. But if I just see kings and queens, like our white sister and brother just seen them benefit, they're kind of lazy because they don't have anything to back off. So I kind of have a thing that when we start teaching our kids and being kings and queens, then what's the struggle that makes us rise?
I don't want them to completely stop. They don't have to put so much out. And there's other
That's
slave.
When they take your truth away, your truth is that you have to find where there was a king and a queen. Because we often say we all come from kings and queens, but not all of us are brown skin come from kings and queens. Some of us do. So I think you got to find your truth. I think the truth is that we come from slavery. And I think in our relationship with America, if we don't teach our children that we can go back there, you have a lot of us that think that's not a reality anymore. It almost became a reality.
Oh yeah, I hear that. I know there's still people now that are in situations where they still have further down south, Atlanta. I mean, further down south in Georgia, they still have those slave. Yeah, and it's like that's. I just want to. I grew up in uh, uh, my grandfather is Caucasian. Um, well, step grandfather. But my mom is really black and my dad is black. They didn't teach, they didn't give me the tools to learn. Like I always thought that we was rich, that we was wealthy, and we we weren't. And it's like, well, where does? Because my mom used to say the same thing. Well, we had kings and queens in our family. Well, we had kings and we came from. Some of us came from kings and queens, and I'm like, well, where is the money? Like, where is the goal? Like, I can't. We how do we have to? Why do we have to keep being poor in a country where we help to make people rich? It doesn't make any sense to me. And you're right. I think that maybe moving forward, I would address it in a different way. Like you have to find.
I don't want to get in that time, but I was interested because I hear people say it a lot, and that's a whole other topic, man. You might have on your show because it's interesting. It's a break definitely because now my youngest child won't have that same type of push that my older two had. So I have to continue to go back over that. So it's interesting. That's a very interesting subject. I think that's why blacks are very divided because you will see a lot of people like, I'm so tired of talking about. You get tired of talking about who you are. You got to know who you are before you become greater. Because if you don't know where you come from, in my opinion. But there
No,
is
I
a
get
big,
you.
there
I
is
feel it.
a big thing there. So I'm not taking the time with you to give me the eyeball, but
I think it's one thing that people overlook.
Nick got into it.
Because I think when people say they don't want to see like slave movies, I think it's more so they just like they would like to see movies that have an emphasis and focus on black people that necessarily don't have to be like that don't have
That
to be
type of
about
genre.
slavery
Right.
or our economic issues and stuff. Because I mean, you can look at any genre ever that focuses on white people, and the movies about that genre, not so much their struggle.
Because their struggle is
Right.
their
Exactly.
struggle didn't start until we stopped being slaves, and that's what we forget.
Yeah.
That we
Stop
they had
everything.
everything done for them, and so the struggle for white America didn't begin until you got your freedom. So that's why they don't capture that because that's not a reality for them, and that's my thing. I think we have to know ourselves because if you don't realize that we hold power, that slavery is what gave us power. When you don't have a place to get your power from, this is why white people are panicking right now. This is why they don't want us to have politicians that look. They're panicking. They've never dealt with this before. And for us, let's be honest, we don't matter what the White House, we don't still live in like we don't live because that struggle has given us a sense of power. So I get what you got to say. I like to see the success
Oh,
stories too, but I always think during Black History Month we need some slavery.
I think what they should do is probably
Mm.
tap into the people who were their lineage was slavery. Like maybe they should find some type of way, like a person whose grandma, grandpa, whatever their lineage was, but they could talk about how slavery was. Because it's sometimes it's hard for me to listen to a white person tell me about slavery. Like, huh? I should jump across this table and slap you, but I'm not going to do that because it wasn't true. It wasn't true. But for me to listen to somebody, I would rather listen to her than listen to the man in the White House because I believe that I'm more relatable to her than him telling me about my great grandmom that was a slave. I don't want to hear that shit from him. I really don't want to hear that from him. I would rather hear it from my people. I would rather hear it and see it from people whose family probably lived it to better understand because there's more people besides Sojourner Truth, besides Harriet Tubman that they don't really talk about.
Right, and that's very good. That's very true too, and that's the thing. There's an unfold story. I think guys, we need to do it. No, we need to do an unfolded slavery movie that follows them all the way up
To
until now.
now, that'll be
But
decent.
they have a few
That would
shows
be
like that.
deep.
That would be
Start off
dope.
so slow. You got to put some, in it because I think that would capture. If you can see the growth, I think the power is in knowing my grandfather couldn't read, but it'll never be another person with that last name that can't read.
Fact. I like
You know
that.
what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
but if we don't see it at 20, because I see a lot of 28, 29, I'm so tired of it. They want to be proud African Americans, but they don't want to know what an African American really is. And so I think we do. There is a divide there. I get excited when I look at Oprah. Like Oprah, I talk about Oprah all the time. But at the end of the day, I also get excited when I hear about her past and her struggle.
She went through a lot.
Who would Oprah be if she didn't have
Yeah.
that struggle?
Right.
I agree.
Or any of us.
No, I agree with you. The struggle does definitely makes you who you are.
That's
Out
the
of it.
one thing. Not white people struggle. There's a lot of white poor people, so they have struggles. But I think when they get in tune with their struggles, that's when you see those powerful white people that don't care about race. But when people don't get in tune with their struggle, they tend to think that they should never struggle. And we
That's
can't
not it,
afford for any
right.
of our children to
That
ever
was
get that,
no.
because then we get behind again. And when you get behind, you get back into chains. So you
Right.
can't go back.
Right.
I feel that.
That's my opinion.
I feel it.
Tanika.
I think it's gonna be
Okay. All right, guys, welcome back. So we left off with please remember. Being relatable to your craft and understanding that you are the one that drives your boat. So my thing is, we spoke about during the pandemic and how there wasn't enough, I guess, what's what I'm looking for. We were speaking about how like we should be drinking more water, understanding how to eat your blood type and all that good stuff. So the question is though, what we see is what's popular, right? They push all that stuff to us, the rapping, the rapping about nonsense, the things that really aren't meant to build us up or whatnot. So how do we go about changing the programming or changing the narrative into things that we care about and making it so that our audience cares about it as well?
Making our own lane. I think we have to branch out from other people and get your own lane. I mean, how did all the like you said with the cereal, like all these different cereals that you want to pick from, you pick your favorite one, and sometimes other people may not see your vision, so you have to be able to maybe push your own vision or get into a group of people who share the same vision, because we can break this up. It can be broken up. You just have to break it up with the people who are willing to break it up with you.
Mhm.
That's real. I think we gotta kind of go. Well, two things I see. Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of that good positive work is happening in the community. So we have to have some people on the ground um, to make those connections, right? Because I think success, because with my camera, it's like a key to the city. I mean, it's just put me in so many different, giving me access to so many different spaces that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. So having that access, I've seen like it's popping out here, but it's in pockets. It happens in pockets. So if we can have people who just highlight different pockets, that's one way. Then another way is we might just got to go old school with it and just go grassroots, boots on the ground. Get people. Everything is kind of opening back up. Where we can kind of meet face to face. Have some have some events. Let's say if it's a film that we want to get out there, have some watch parties and stuff like that. So I see those as different combinations of things that we can do.
And bringing people, I would say bringing the people into the fold that you want your audience. So maybe you go out like you said with the movie, you bring the movie to the people, you pick people from out of the whatever audience you want them to be in, and they be a part of the movie, or they be a part of the script, or they be a part of the play. If you want to get to the people, you have to talk to the people. You got to get the people to want to talk to you. So if you can get the people to talk to you and listen to what they tell you, and when you listen to what they tell you, give back to what they said visually, then you got those people, because as you said, it's the media. We don't control as media as we should. So if we have a way to push our own media, or a way to get involved with our media, it'll branch out. And if you touch the people with your hands, they're gonna touch you back with theirs.
Absolutely. I also just want to note that a lot of the stuff that we ask for, it's out there, but it's not heavily supported, because there were many shows on, I think, if it's not BT Plus or whatever, that I recently caught on to that isn't on the network anymore. And I'm just like, what happened to that support? Where's our support? It's like, yeah, we want this. Okay, here, you guys get it. And then they take it away because there's not enough views or whatever. So, what do you guys think about that? Like, why aren't we supporting our own lane? Why aren't we supporting what we put out?
I think competition. People are afraid. Uh, I still believe that it could be possible. Like you still have to make a plate of
Hmm.
your own food, regardless of the fact. People could cook all day long, but you got to make your own plate, and you got to sit there and look at what you can eat and what you're not able to eat, and bring another person. Like, I got this plate. I got ham. I don't eat no ham. You eat ham?
No.
What, you got chicken? Oh well, you got ham. You eat ham? Okay, I don't eat ham. We could trade chickens. Now we just started something. Okay, now I know that you don't like ham, so now I get to get more information about you. You get information about the people that you want to help and you want to push. And when people know that you listen, they'll come around. Because now people don't feel like people are listening to them. You got the water boys getting shot, shooting people over water because they're trying to find a way to make something of themselves. If you listen to them and actually sit down and hear what they're saying, it's like, well, we don't have nothing to do. We don't have nobody to help us get to this point. If you help the people who actually are screaming for help and they back you, they gonna back you. People gonna back who back you. If you back me, I got you. I'm gonna rock with you. But you honestly have to show people that you're for them. If you're not for them, they're not gonna be for you regardless of the fact. And the shows that get picked up, We got to find people who are in a position to continue to push them. We can get more Tyler Perry's. We can get more Shonda Rhimes in those positions. And if they don't want us to get in there, we knock the door and make our own stuff.
Indeed, and I think another reason why we don't see us supporting um, a lot of our own content in our own lane is it comes down to what you value, and unfortunately, a lot of us don't value. The value's not there, so it kind of goes back to what we talked about off camera. Uh, with there, it starts with education,
Mm-hmm.
remembering who you are and knowing who you are. So yeah, I think that'll kind of bring it home. But yeah, it just comes down to what you value.
Okay.
Love is the key to everything, honestly.
It is. It is. You spoke briefly about your 10-year-old. I have a son, and I'm very like zoned into making sure that he's watching the right things, and I say this because, well, children television or children programming is predominantly like these little white kids or whatever. Um, so I want to speak about the importance of bringing us to the forefront, making sure that we're telling our stories the proper way. Um, and then we started speaking about gatekeepers and how that may become an issue. But I wanted to get your guys' opinions about that.
Put LeVar Burton back on the television.
Reading Rainbow,
Yeah.
classic.
If you put LeVar Burton back on the television, it will help a lot. Or put more people like that. Because a lot of people may not want to read. If you push people to read, they're gonna learn. You gotta push people to learn sometime. And
Mm-hmm.
if you see a person up there that's telling you, I did this, go ahead and read, they'll start reading. That's how I started writing from LeVar.
Mm-hmm.
Reading Rainbow helped me get to my wording.
Mm-hmm.
It's before Jay-Z and all of them. But yeah, that was my person. Put
Gotcha.
that out there to help the children like that. We don't need Barney. We don't really need Sesame Street. We need people who we see. I don't see no bird reading in real life,
I know.
but I see a black man reading in real life. Come
They
on,
do have a
man.
black puppet.
No, but he's a puppy. He ain't real. I want to see somebody real on the screen. I don't. Kids might have nightmares. Like, oh my god, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to do that. No. Put some people on the screen.
Got you. How should we fuel our future is making sure that we want them to see what, better things on television or just the media and overall.
One, I think a big thing is just starting at home. Um, Starting with the kids, now, especially when the mind is impressionable at a young age. If you could get enough kids and mold them in the right way, I mean, that's the future right there. So yeah, definitely starting with kids, educating the kids. And I mean, it may take a while, once they kind of come into their own, but I think that's a great investment into the youth, and also just people who are doing the work with people who are doing the work and build the youth.
Communication. Ask. What do you want to see on TV? Or ask what's your interest. If you don't want your child to play video games all day long, ask them, well, what else would you want to do? And start using that as a content. Like you said, it start from home. Maybe people at home make their own content and
Mm-hmm.
then push it, or they get with people and make the content themselves. But if you ask a person a question, if they if you ask a person a question, they should tell you. But communication is the key.
That's
Communication
key.
is the
That's
key.
key. What you mentioned about asking kids what they want to do, because so many of us get caught up in this trap. We have aspirations as kids, but when we get grown, we're not doing any of that.
I'm reading a book by Robert Greene called Mastery. I
Mhm.
read the 48 Laws of Power. It was a phenomenal book. I suggest people read Mastery because it will get you to the point where what we're talking about. The alchemy of getting to your peace. Ascension grows. So you have to grow you have to move in a place where it's not bad. So if you're if your soil is trash, you have to move out of that. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like you have to maneuver in a world that's better for you, better for your children, better for whoever's around you. And doing that is, for one, being honest with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
being honest with people, and love is the key. And communication will help a lot of things. Effective communication, which means you listen, you listen and you pay attention and you be able to articulate what the person told you. Because if you tell me a bunch of stuff and I don't come back with nothing that you told me, I didn't listen to nothing that you said. So now I don't have your mind.
Mhm.
If I listen to you, I got your mind because now you pay attention. Okay, well I could talk to you some more. And breaking that down to have people be able to want to come and talk. You have to be able to want to talk to people as well.
Absolutely.
Coming
Absolutely.
together, it's going to be important. It's a lot of stuff that we want to do, right? But I think there's a great prerequisite. We got to heal. We have to come together in healing. You know, how are we going to do all this great stuff when we still got all this trauma flowing through our bloodstreams? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's one of the job as a creator is to use those mediums to heal the people.
Absolutely.
Healing is I know, I get it. It's a lifelong process,
Yeah.
and you have to have it, and you have to be around positive people to help you get there because a team wasn't one person. Michael Jordan didn't get 6 rings by himself. Brady didn't get 7 rings by himself. It's a team effort, and if you have the right team around you, whether it be blood, whatever it is, that's gonna propel you in a better light as well.
Absolutely. So before we all leave, I want you guys to tell the people how they can connect with you.
I'll talk something.
You can follow me on Instagram at Montiangelo, Montyangelo, or montiangelo.com. Those are the two best places you can find me. You probably see me out in the city with my camera in Midtown, Peachtree, or whatever. But yeah, you can find me online there.
I have a lot. So you can find me on IG at J Anthony Grigger. No, that's wrong. Sorry, it's Jag the writer. It's gonna come up J Anthony Grigger. Then I have Just Another Negro Talking. That's a podcast. You can catch me on there too. His art is pictures of me on. They're not really nasty, but the pictures of me. You can get me on there. And it's another one. I can't remember what it is, but if you go to the main Jag the writer one, if you drop down the link tree, it'll drop them all down for you. Just pick which one you want.
All right, guys. Thank you so very much for talking today and getting in on this topic. We went in
We did.
and I like it.
I loved it. I appreciate everybody who would allow me to speak. Everybody.
Absolutely. So, guys, make sure you subscribe to e-linetv.com for all original E-Line content, as this will be featured on that. So make sure you guys subscribe. All right. So catch us next week for another episode of E-Line Exclusive. Until then, take care of yourselves. All right, guys. Bye.
Oh, that was so decent.
All right.
Nice.
Christopher. Hey.
Reading Rainbow.
Oh my God.
That's facts though. Yo, that's facts though. That's hilarious.
Y'all
Yeah.
That was a really good show.
Yes.
And you know what? It's confusing about